In the dense jungles of Kerala, in southern India, on the border of a small village called Aravinpur, lived a lonely Asian elephant named Ravi. He was once the oldest and wisest of his herd, but many years ago, due to a deep wound from falling into a ravine, he was forced to leave his relatives. Since then, Ravi wandered alone, finding solace in the shade of banyan trees and the sound of waterfalls, avoiding people and their noisy villages. But one day, trouble overtook him again. Ravi's left front leg began to swell. At first it was only a slight pain, but soon the leg became hot, red and so heavy that every step echoed painfully in his huge body. He tried to rub his leg with his trunk, hoping to ease the pain, but the wound only got worse. The swelling had grown to the size of a melon, pus began to ooze from it, and a foul odor spread throughout his body. Ravi, weakened and exhausted, could not find food or go far from his shelter. Every step felt like hot needles piercing his body. The fever made him stagger, and he often fell on the soft grass, breathing heavily and realizing that without help his days were numbered. In desperation, under the scorching Kerala sun, Ravi decided to do something he had never done before. He left the jungle and headed for the village of Aravinpur, hoping that the people he always avoided could help him. On that hot afternoon, the villagers heard a strange noise, the cracking of branches and heavy footsteps coming from the western edge of the jungle. A huge gray shape emerged from the undergrowth, raising clouds of dust. It was Ravi, limping, his eyes bloodshot, covered in mud and dried pus. His massive body trembled with pain, and every step left traces of blood on the dusty road. The villagers panicked when they saw the elephant. Children screamed, women grabbed their babies, and men ran out of their houses with sticks and stones, thinking that the elephant had gone mad and was going to destroy their homes. "He's dangerous," some shouted. "Drive him away," others echoed. The crowd began to roar, and several stones flew towards Ravi. One hit him in the side, causing him to stagger. The elephant stopped, raised his trunk as if trying to say something, but this only increased the fear of the people. The loud roar of the crowd made him let out a weak groan, and without resisting, he slowly turned to leave. Blood and pus flowed down his leg, leaving a dark mark on the road. Ravi reached a small meadow on the edge of the village and collapsed in the tall grass. His heavy breathing echoed throughout the area, and his trunk occasionally raised to the sky, as if in supplication. A small boy named Arun, full of curiosity, ran closer, but his father, Ramesh, quickly pulled him back, afraid that the elephant might attack. Everyone in the village considered Ravi a threat, and no one dared to approach. But one person, an elderly woman named Lakshmi, did not go away. She stood to the side, watching the elephant. Lakshmi, who had lived near the jungle all her life and knew the habits of animals, noticed that Ravi was not showing aggression. His eyes were full of pain and despair, not anger. She went to her neighbor, a young teacher named Vikram Singh, and said, "This elephant has not come to scare us. He is dying and asking for help." Vikram, touched by her words, decided to take action. He called the Kerala Forest Service to report a sick elephant. An hour later, a jeep carrying a team of rangers and veterinarians appeared on the dusty road. The villagers gathered at a safe distance, watching with curiosity. The group was led by Chief Ranger Ajay Kumar, a man with years of experience in rescuing wild animals. With him was Dr. Priya Sharma, a veterinarian who specializes in treating large mammals. Ajay slowly approached Ravi, examining him carefully. The elephant lay motionless, only his eyes following the man. "He has a serious abscess on his leg," Ajay said quietly. "He came here because he knew he couldn't survive without us." Dr. Priya confirmed, "If not treated immediately, the infection will spread into the bloodstream, and he will die within a few days." Hearing this, the crowd went silent. Many felt ashamed for throwing stones and chasing the elephant away. Vikram said loudly, "He didn't resist even when we chased him. He just wanted us to help." These words made people think, and a feeling of guilt and compassion hung in the air. Ajay gave the command to clear the area around the elephant. Inspired by the example of Lakshmi and Vikram, The villagers started helping. Some brought water, some removed dry grass to make it easier for the vets to work. Priya wanted to use a tranquilizer to numb the elephant and perform the surgery safely. But Ajay, carefully observing Ravi's behavior, said, "I think he trusts us. We will try without anesthesia." He walked up to the elephant, gently touched its trunk and whispered something. Ravi responded with a soft snort, as if in agreement. The team got to work. Priya carefully cut away the skin around the lump, and pus and blood gushed out. The smell was unbearable, but no one backed down. Vikram put on gloves and helped clean the pus, while Lakshmi brought clean water to wash the wound. Priya used antibacterial solution and cotton swabs to clean the affected tissue. Ravi groaned occasionally, but remained motionless, allowing the people to work. His eyes seemed to glow with gratitude as Ajay held his trunk, not looking away. After a thorough cleaning, the wound was wrapped in wide bandages, carefully secured around the massive leg. The villagers watching the process quietly applauded as Ravi relaxed for the first time that day, lying on the grass. A young girl named Anjali brought a bunch of bananas, and an old man named Gopal placed a bucket of water next to Ravi. The elephant slowly reached his trunk towards the fruit, carefully picked up one, and began to eat. The people standing around could not hold back their tears, seeing how the huge but weak creature was finding hope thanks to their efforts. At night, the villagers organized a vigil. They lit fires to scare away wild animals and monitored Ravi's breathing. Priya regularly checked his temperature and pulse, and Ajay stayed close, softly humming an old song sung by his grandfather, who worked as a forest caretaker. Ravi slept restlessly, occasionally sighing and touching the ground with his trunk, as if checking that he was still alive. At dawn, as the first rays of sunlight broke through the mist, Vikram shouted, "He's getting up." Ravi, gathering all his strength, slowly rose up, supported by 3 healthy legs. The bandages on his wound were damp, but held tight. He swayed but remained standing, and then turned to the crowd. The crowd burst into applause and many cried with joy. Ravi raised his trunk high into the sky, then slowly waved it as if saying goodbye. Birds began to sing in the jungle, and the morning light illuminated the scene, giving it an almost magical atmosphere. The elephant looked at Ajay, bowed his head slightly, as if in gratitude, and slowly walked back into the jungle. His gait was still limping, but there was a new strength in it. Every few steps he raised his trunk, as if sending the humans a final sign of gratitude. The villagers stood silently, watching him until his gray figure disappeared into the undergrowth. This story changed Ravinpur forever. From then on, villagers began leaving water and fruits at the edge of the jungle for other animals in need. Children who were once afraid of elephants now drew pictures of them in school, calling Ravi a friend of the jungle. A photograph taken by Vikram of Ravi, standing in a meadow, was placed in a local temple as a symbol of compassion and unity. Not only did the elephant survive, but he became a legend that was told to children and grandchildren. Ravi, the guest from the jungles of Kerala, became a symbol of hope for the village and a reminder that even in the darkest moments, kindness and courage can save lives. People no longer saw elephants as a threat, but as part of their world, part of a large family living in harmony with nature. Thank you, friends, for taking the time to read this story. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you in the next wildlife story.